Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Lead Up. Each episode, we highlight a film from a popular series and follow it all the way to the most recent release. We'll discuss what we love about the movie or perhaps don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it, even the not so good ones, which we have one night right now. Let's not get into it. Let's get into it. Excuse me. Mike, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. After I got viciously stabbed in the back again after the last time, I also got stabbed in the back. I've decided to work on the set of the movie detailing the events of me getting stabbed. I mean, really, they're about Sidney Prescott. But
so you're Dewey here. You're Deputy Dewey here.
Okay. Yeah. I had a bad breakup with Gale, but I'm dating the person playing Gale in the movie, kind of dating. And it's getting really weird. I do miss Gale, but she is kind of too self-serving for me, and I'm too good for her. But all of a sudden, some people are getting killed around and on my set that I'm supposed to be their advisor on. So I'm here investigating the killings. Also, I have to make sure no one gets to Sidney. Whoever's killing these actors and actresses are after Sidney Prescott. Also Cotton, but who cares about him?
We don't worry about him in the beginning.
So I'm trying to figure out who this killer is. I'm working with Gale, fake Gale, and we're going to figure out who this killer is and keep Sidney safe. And hopefully Sidney doesn't just randomly show up out of the middle of nowhere and put herself in danger. But we'll see what happens.
That's right. We are doing Scream 3. So Scream has come back. This is now the first film came out in 96, second 97. This one's a 2000 film. So we're 3 years moving on from this film. So let's get into the facts. Then we'll get into then I'll get into our viewing notes and we'll kind of dive into, I guess, the issues with this film. Because I'm going to start off by saying this. I still like this movie, but it's definitely flawed. But one of the things I appreciate with this show that we do for Forgotten Cinema is I now know why it's flawed. And so and we'll get into it because a lot of the facts in terms of like what happened and in terms of like making the film, but
right.
It's you really have to have a great support system and a great talent behind the camera to do a good film. And this just, this never had a shot. Anyways, so Scream 3 runtime of 116 minutes. It's rated R. Production budget of $40 million. It's most obviously we're now at the most expensive Scream that's ever been made. If you're just comparing 1, 2, and then 3. So release date was February 4th, 2000. So this is our first Scream film that is not in December. Although this film was originally supposed to come out in December of 1999, but it got pushed because they had to do reshoots in January, and we'll get into that a little bit. Opening weekend, it did $34.7 million. Its domestic take was $89 million. Its international take was $73 million for a worldwide total of $162 million. So still going strong, not as strong as the second one, I believe. I think maybe just a little under, but for a horror film, not bad. Production company and distribution were the same, Dimension Films, and you also had Conrad Pictures, Craven, Madalena Films, and Miramax coming back as production companies. They said it came out on the 4th of 2000 of February. Let's go back a week to January 28th. Always a hot time of the year for films to come out. You had wide releases of Eye of the Beholder and Isn't She Great? Exactly. This film came out against a limited release of Gunshy. No wide release went up against this film. Gunshy is with Liam Neeson. And then
I was going to say, it sounds familiar.
The week after, the 11th, he had a wide release of the Tigger movie, Snow Day, and The Beach. So like I said, not a strong time of the year.
The Tigger movie.
Wes Craven returns as our director. Obviously, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hills of Eyes. I've already talked about this. Aaron Kruger is our new writer here. Kevin Williamson was too busy to have time to write this film. So they brought on Kruger. He has done Arlington Road. I can't remember which Mission Impossible he has done, but I think, right? Didn't he do 3? No, that was J.J. Abrams. Not Mission Impossible. What am I thinking of? Aaron Kruger, the writer. You don't even know who Aaron Kruger is?
As the writer? I mean, not by name. No, I'm not
written? Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, he's done a movie called Arlington Road. That's how he got this film. And then he did Butler, you should know, because then he did Reindeer Games after this film.
Of course I knew. I was testing you.
Okay.
Of course I know.
Cinematographer is Peter Deming. So glad you do a movie podcast. He's returning from Scream 2, Mulholland Drive, The Menu. Composer returns, Marco Beltrami. Editor, Patrick Lussier returns. I'm not going to give you the credits, so we're moving on. Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette return. Sidney, Gale, and Deputy Dewey are back. Although Deputy Dewey is now... he is not a deputy. He is a private investigator or a private bodyguard.
He's an advisor.
Something. Yes, he's an
technical advisor to the film.
3. Yes. You have Patrick Dempsey is as Mark Kincaid, the cop, the officer who is, falling for Sidney a little bit. He also was hired a day before the film started, so that was really quick.
Memorized 3 big dialogue scenes.
Yep. He's in Grey's Anatomy, the TV show, Can't Buy Me Love, and Enchanted.
A movie we did.
There you go.
Quite a long time ago. Long time ago.
Scott Foley in his first feature film as Roman Bridger. Before this, Scott has been in a couple WB movies. I think he was in Felicity at this point. He is our director of Stab 3. He's Lance Henriksen is John Milton, the producer of this film, the Stab 3. He's in obviously Aliens and Near Dark. Butler.
A movie we did.
There you go. Jenny McCarthy. She's not Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg, but back then she was Jenny McCarthy as Sarah Darling. She is playing one of the characters in Stab 3. She's in Scary Movie 3, which is, weird. And Basketball. Emily Mortimer as Angelina Tyler. This is Emily Mortimer's first American film. She actually had to get her visa for this film. She's in Lars and the Real Girl, Mary Poppins Returns, and the TV show 30 Rock. Parker
I should mention as well, we talked about Jenny McCarthy being in Scary Movie 3. Tori Spelling, who was in Stab, the movie making fun of the movie version of Scream, is in Scary Movie 2 as well.
Nice. Parker Posey as Jennifer Jolie, as Butler talked about, Dewey's love interest. She's also playing Gale Weathers in the Stab 3 film that's being shot during this movie. Dazed and Confused, Superman Returns, season 3 of The White Lotus. Matt Kessler, as Tom Prince. He's playing Dewey, right? Yeah, he plays Deputy Dewey in Stab 3. He's in The Last Days of Disco and Sour Grapes. Patrick Warburton as Stephen Stone. He's the bodyguard of Jennifer Jolie. Seinfeld, obviously. Heather Matarazzo as Martha Meeks, the sister of Randy Meeks. She brings the tape of Randy in this film. She's in Welcome to the Dollhouse and The Princess Diaries. Carrie Fisher's in here a little bit. Roger Jackson returns as a voice. Jamie Kennedy has a credit, but he's on the videotape. And then there's Liev Schreiber has returned for his last time as Cotton Weary, as he is murdered in the opening scene of the film. Butler.
Yes.
Where would you like to start here?
Where would you like to start? Where would you like to begin? I feel like you have a history with this film. I feel like, is this your least favorite Scream film?
I think this, yes. Primarily because I don't. Yes, because at least with Scream 6, the killers in Scream 6, the murderers in Scream 6, there was a connection. I understood but Scream 6 connection is more to Scream 5, similar like Scream 2 to Scream 1. Excuse me. This one, how I started off the show, and I had said that knowing the reasoning why this wasn't as strong, the ending that should have been, I feel like I'm a little annoyed that we didn't get that ending. Like they changed it. They changed who the killers were, because I thought that what they had as their ending was great. I thought that was like, that would have been really, really cool if they did it this way. And what we're left with is this is the only Scream movie in the franchise that has one killer. So, and it's obviously Roman Bridger, who is the stepbrother of Sidney, who we don't know because we learn about that. And like we learned that Sidney's mom had a kid went before Sidney, and it's him, and he was been jealous ever since and all that stuff. And then they retcon Scream. They retcon the whole thing with Billy and Stu, that, Roman taught them that Roman actually did the murder, and he taught them, like, that whole thing. So, I mean, I don't know if you know what the original script ending was supposed to be.
It was the girl, the other Sidney was supposed to be the other Ghostface, who was a classmate of Sidney's.
Angelina, so Emily Mortimer's character was supposed, and if you watch this, and when you're watching this film, and if you know that, it makes a lot more sense when you see her in certain parts of this movie, because she just shows up when they fall down the hill. She's not there for certain things. Her death,
Sidney's fight through the stage, and her death. I thought she was going to be the killer until the end, because she's the only victim who gets dragged away.
Well, her death was supposed to be a fake out death. That's how it was done. And
she's coming back, because Ghostface does not carry victims anywhere. That has never been an MO. I was telling Elise, and I was wrong.
No, right. And so it was supposed to be like, so Roman, and so the whole idea was that it was Roman and Angelina, and she's playing Sidney in the movie, and he's with her, he's together with her, like he's having sex with her, and this, because the whole thing is like he wants to be with Sidney, so there's like this incestuous angle to the whole thing at the end, and I'm like, oh, come on, that would have been so good. That's so just like that's on brand with the franchise, and I would have been really cool with that. The other thing is too, Mike, that this idea was not Williamson. So Williamson wrote a treatment for Scream 3, and when Kruger came on to write it, Aaron Kruger, he dismissed it. He had never seen the first two Screams when he agreed to write it. He did this just to work with Wes Craven. So then he watched the two Screams and he wrote the script, and then Wes Craven came in and changed everything and kind of rewrote it. And Kruger said he was invaluable because Wes Craven just basically had to make it a Scream film. So even then you're not starting off with from a Scream base. And if you go to Williamson's Scream 3, what it was supposed to be a Stab fan club of a bunch of Woodsboro kids, that they were all involved in the killings. And at the end of the film, so the final twist was that Sidney was going to go into this room after Ghostface had killed everyone, and everybody would stand up, and none of them were actually dead. And they all had planned the whole thing. And if you watch the TV show The Following, which Williamson was part of, who created it, there's a story there that takes basically what the Scream 3 ending was supposed to be and puts it in that show. So it's like, so even that ending, so like this third ending that we got, which is primarily we got it because of just interference, sensitivity to the Columbine massacre that happened before they started shooting, or right while they were shooting it, because there was immediately an edict to they wanted to cut out the blood, and they wanted to make it more funny. They didn't want them to use a lot of blood because of all the stuff that had happened, which I understand. But we get this third kind of killer ending where it's just like, I feel like it's like, oh, this will be great. We'll just do this and it'll be fine. We'll be fine. And it's not fine. And so to me, it's more about the potential of what this film could have been that really bugs me out than what we got, because there is some stuff in it that makes me laugh. There's some stuff that Parker Posey's great. The whole meta of it. And I know I'm rambling, but the whole meta of Stab 3 and the characters, and when Parker Posey and her character and Gale Weathers are investigating, like that stuff's fun.
The Gales.
but I think I'm just really disappointed in the potential of what it could have been rather than what we got. So I wouldn't necessarily say I was like, oh, this is terrible. I know it could have been better. But I was okay with the stuff that we had. What did you think? Because you're hot. This is like new for you.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I thought it was pretty good. It does get convoluted, but I do think it does. And Roman being the main bad guy, it's kind of dumb. It's just kind of like, okay. I was really enjoying again, like Scream 2, I was really enjoying trying to figure out who the killers were. I really thought I knew it was going to be a brother angle. Like I saw that coming. I was like, somebody's Sidney's half brother. And I really thought it was Patrick Dempsey. Like right off the bat, I was like, oh, he's her half brother. He is absolutely her half brother, and he's come for revenge. And I was partly right, but it was Roman. And I was just like, that doesn't fit. Like, it worked so much better to have the cop be Patrick Dempsey's character be Ghostface, because of the way it's all set up, because of the way his life is, the way his opinion is. He's so connected to Sidney, but like the wrong side of the coin of Sidney. They have such similar experiences, similar outlooks on life because of also stuff he saw as a cop. it would have worked on so many different levels if he was the killer, even if I had seen it coming, than just Roman alone. And like you said, not having the second killer, not having the other Sidney being the killer, I thought was a waste, because it would have been a really cool reveal to have the alternate Sidney be a killer in the film. I thought that would have been really neat. There are funny gags I really like. I think this movie hinges on Dewey and Gale, and that's almost exclusively because of Nev Campbell's schedule for this film. And also Courtney Cox was apparently only available for like 3 weeks also. Like they didn't have either of them for a lot. So this really is a Dewey Gale vehicle. And with some Sidney in it, because you need Sidney as a Scream movie, but I think it works so well with the two of them. I think their relationship in this is we talked about the evolution from 1 into 2 with them. I think that's where this movie shines, is that evolution between Dewey and Gale in this film, and Gale's evolution as a character. I really, really enjoyed it. It's something you rarely see in a horror film, either just because horror films don't want to deal with complex emotions or character development, or people just simply don't live long enough in horror films to have that kind of a development. I just thought it worked really, really well. But this film, like you said, there's a lot of missed moments, a lot of missed opportunity, a lot of missed Hollywood stuff. I really enjoy the chase through the sets, but I thought there could have been a little bit more with that. Like, so, I think if this movie primarily was in a studio, it would have worked better. So
take that chase when Sidney's getting chased in the house, right?
Yeah.
If you go back and watch that, that's supposed to be she's being chased by 2 Ghostface killers.
Which would make sense, because that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way, like at one point Ghostface falls and he turns around, and then he's there.
And calling for her, as the mother in the body bag.
Yes. So so right there, they see that bugs me. so
I had the same thought at the end. I was like, who was in the body bag?
And I don't want to, and I'm not going to lay it at the feet of Aaron Kruger, the writer that was brought on, because he was brought on to write this film in 6 weeks. He had a 6-week deadline to do the first draft. So he had to bust through this. And then, so that's why you had rewrites while they were filming. He was just rewriting stuff, and obviously Wes Craven's rewriting stuff. So, I mean,
which they do add as a joke in this film, but yeah.
Yes. But you're already putting this movie behind the 8 ball. I mean, it rarely happens where you have a film that is so successful and you're rewriting and you're changing things. Like, that's very rare, so you can't keep, it's almost like you're playing with fire, and you're going to get burned. I mean, just ask phase 4 of the Marvel franchise, just right there. Just you can't do it like that.
I just don't understand. You have a writer who has written you 2 of the most successful horror films of the 90s, if not of all time, essentially. It's certainly in terms of slashers, and you just go, we don't need you for the 3rd one.
Well, he's
a guy who had a treatment.
Right, but he's doing Dawson's Creek. He's doing a bunch of other stuff. He's busy.
So you think it wasn't necessarily the studio, but maybe him going, you know what? I had this treatment, but I can't write it because I'm too busy.
Probably. I mean, they would have. I mean, if the studio really wanted Kevin Williamson to do this, they would have given him enough money to do it, and they would be like, "No, you need to do this."
But he made them enough money. That's what I don't get. It's like, don't pinch your pennies when you really don't, when you can't afford to pinch those pennies. Well, they still have Wes
Craven, so they still probably were like, "We still have Craven here." So,
but then you have do you think Scream depends more on Wes Craven or on Williamson? This is me having only seen the first 2 Screams before this. Like, you've seen the whole series. Do you think Scream is more Wes Craven, or do you think it's more Kevin Williamson?
I think it's more. With Scream 7, I think we'll find out. But I definitely think it's because Kevin Williamson's directing Scream 7. He wrote it. I think Kevin Williamson is a very strong writer. So I think Wes Craven was a good director. Rest in peace. But if you don't have a good script, then not every Wes Craven film was great. So
exactly,
if you don't have a great script, then you're gonna fall. And Wes Craven's not. I mean, look at Cursed. Wes Craven's not doing anything that is, revolutionary in terms of camera work or action or jump scares, but he know, like, he is a solid horror director and he knows what he's doing, and probably younger, like the Hills Have Eyes or stuff like that. In the Last House, he did Last House on the Left, right? The original. I know.
I am almost positive he did. Yes.
So like his early stuff is just great, and he really has a handle on that. But like this movie is something different from him because it's not. It's tongue in cheek a little bit, like the first two, the from the script of Ken Williamson. And then you have this one where he gives you a treatment, and you're like, no, we're going to do something different. But it's like. That's the other thing. How do you disregard the treatment that the guy that's given you the first two movies in the franchise that have done really well? How do you disregard this treatment? Like, that's just.
This reminds me of Star Wars, where it's like, oh yeah, let's buy Star Wars for however many billions of dollars. George Lucas, I've had this treatment. I've wrote all 9 films in a treatment form. They've all been done. I've always known all 9 films. Yeah, George, we don't give a shit. We're not using those.
Yeah,
which is what?
Hubris. It's just weird. Yeah, it's stupid. But then you have the note where like Kruger was fired. Like Bob Weinstein didn't like the script, so towards the end he fired Aaron Kruger and had him go script reindeer games. And this is the note, so you take this for what it is. They brought in Lita Kalogridis, who wrote Shutter Island and the TV show Altered Carbon, Butler, that we both like. And she was
Shutter Island and Altered Carbon.
She was the one that made the change to, or maybe he was the one, excuse me, that made the change to make Roman a single killer. So take that for what it's worth, because who knows? Because obviously Wes Craven's still involved in the script, so he's obviously writing stuff. And I already talked about how they changed things about the Columbine because they didn't want to have 2 killers who were together because of what happened at Columbine with the 2 killers. So
is this the second movie we've done that was affected while shooting about the Columbine killings? I feel like there was another one, and I'm not sure what it was.
I know we've done a couple films that were No. Was it Columbine? I mean,
I thought so.
The only thing that's in my head is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer season finale that got pushed to summer.
Oh, got pushed.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember.
The tower, yep.
Because that ends at the high school. They have a huge fight at the high school. They have a huge killing at the high school. The principal, when he's going to eat everybody. Jesus, I can't believe I know that. I just, and to your point about Neve Campbell, she's shooting Drowning Mona, the movie Drowning Mona, and she's doing Party of 5 still. So she's like wearing a wig in this film because she's got different hair for Drowning Mona. So she's doing 3 different things in this for this while at the same time. It's tough. It's a tough. This film has so much against it to be good that it would have been a miracle for it to just be even remotely as good as Scream 2 and Scream. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's still a lot in this film I do like. Yeah,
the meta stuff is so. I think I talked about last time. We talked about how Scream 2 was a continuation of the theme from Scream, in terms of how movies and video games make people violent, that whole thing, and kind of but this one's not. This is so the theme here is different. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think the theme here. I concur. I think the theme here is kind of trilogies. It's kind of, the theme is meta in and of itself. It's wrapping up a story. It's how you handle the third act in a movie series, and I think there's a lot of talk about how you do it. And obviously Randy's video talks a lot about it. And I think they do a really good job with that. And I think that they unfortunately fall victim to some of the same things they talk about in third films. Is not necessarily something that, like, because it's so predictable, you don't need to do it. But then they also don't do a lot of everyone's going to die who can die. It's like, no one died. It was like Dewey, Gale, and Sidney still survive, which I'm glad. I don't want them to die. They're the stalwarts. You have a ton of other victims. But I think that the meta-ness in this film, unfortunately, doesn't play as well as the talk about sequels and as much as to talk about how violence affects people in Scream 2 as the theme in this one. I don't know if you picked up on any other themes. Maybe I didn't.
I think that they are using the cast of Stab 3 and just the production of Stab 3 to kind of be its own theme and just like life imitating art,
Right.
art imitating life. And just that whole, and they have, I know like it's retrospect when they go back and look at it, because I know this film is like looked upon after the Me Too movement, after Harvey Weinstein's his stuff.
I was going to say the movie has a lot of irony to it to me.
Yeah, this movie's touching upon that a little bit in terms of the John Milton character, the Lance Henriksen character, and how they used to have, you know, these wild sex parties in this. They said this, 70s, right? Like 70s, 80s, like back in like, but like yeah. But to that point, like that's not really like, that's a known fact. Like we watched The Nice Guys, Butler, and The Nice Guys dive into that immensely. You talk about the seedy underworld of Hollywood.
But this is a movie also produced by the Weinsteins, and I think that's where the irony hits. And the fact that it's not just like, oh, because you do, it's also like she was abused in these screening parties they talk about. Like it was like it ruined her life. It wasn't just like, oh, you knew what to do to get a part. It's like she was abused down there. It wasn't just kind of like a, hey, get me a part kind of a thing.
And no one knows who the father is, of who Roman's dad is. I mean, you're supposed to think it's John Milton, but he doesn't know because you don't know.
He doesn't know for sure. Yeah, because even Roman said because she was passed around by so many people, it would be impossible to know who his dad was.
So I think this is. I don't think it's. I don't believe that it was the intent to kind of have this small sub theme about Hollywood and, you know, the inner workings. I think that just came with them rewriting the script. You know what I mean? I don't think that was the premise moving forward. I don't think that's what they were trying to do. I think making a Stab 3, I thought there, you know, it just doesn't feel like there was really any thought put into how does this sit within how does this relate to the first two films? You know what I mean? I don't think the only thing that they have there is just that they were more focused on how does this connect to Sidney? How is this Sidney story? Kind of like Skywalker story for Star Wars, to use that. Like how is, and okay, she has a brother she didn't know. And the fact that they talk about how Randy talks about like, you know, it's stuff in the first film you didn't know was true. You thought was true is no longer true. So the whole idea that Roman Bridger
isn't the one who killed it. Yeah.
Right. It was Roman. Come on. Like I understand why it's there. I just don't know if it's like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just not like, nah. It's almost like people like really just forget that. They don't care about that. Like to me, it's always been Billy and Stu, and Billy killed your mother and that's it. I don't believe this Roman stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like people watch this film and they're just like, nah, sorry, he's lying.
I think when you have a classic movie like Scream 1 and then you try to rewrite an important part like that, it always rubs people wrong. And that's why you get a lot of movies nowadays that are sequels that pretend, you know, whichever one in the series that tried to do that didn't happen. Like, we're going to say that it's not real.
There's definitely more of a forethought in terms of when people create these stories, these horror films, like, oh, what happens in the third one? What happens in the fourth one? Because they want to, you know what I mean? They don't think of them as standalones moving forward. Sure. Which, you know, you should. I mean, that's you need to have a good film first and then make another good film. Don't worry about what your fourth film in the series is going to be when you haven't even finished your first film. So you shouldn't think like that, because then your writing's going to be bad. It's going to show through. So it's just, it really just boils down for me to the potential of what this film could have been. But you generally liked it though. You're saying it wasn't really, because this is the worst reviewed film in the series. I talked about how Scream 2 was the best reviewed. This is now the worst reviewed.
Then we can only go up from here. See, for me, it's not that high. For me, it's kind of like 1, 2, and now we're kind of it's still better than most slashers, like generic slashers. It's still a little bit above the grade. Maybe that's Wes Craven's influence as well. The characters we have that we've been watching for 2 other films. So it's still on the rise. But yeah, it definitely didn't go as high as Scream 2. Like Scream 2 was just like, whoa, this is what a Scream movie could be. Scream 3 was like, it's kind of fun. It's got its moments. Like I said, the chase through fake Westboro in the houses that we saw in the first film, I thought that was really cool, well done. Although, like we both mentioned, there's definitely two Ghostfaces in there.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton's character is kind of funny. I always like him. It still keeps you guessing at who the killer is going to be, even if they do fake you out with Roman, and then it's all kind of BS after that. And Dewey, like I said, Dewey and Gale really carry this story, and I really like Dewey and Gale's story in this film. I thought that was really well done. So I think Dewey and Gale really keep this movie on the up and up, other than just kind of like being But Dewey and Gale really helped this movie.
What about the action scenes, the deaths, the house blowing up, the final one where they're in the mansion? What do you think about all that? Did that?
The mansion was a little Scooby-Doo for me.
Sure.
I think they did a good job of me knowing where everything is in the mansion, because usually that could be confusing. I did in my mind's eye kind of have a good layout of the mansion, what was going on. I thought that was cool, but the spooky mansion was just kind of like, just put it on a Hollywood set where there's weird Hollywood set things. You don't need this kind of fake out mansion with all these weird rooms. Just make it a spooky set with all these different props and stuff you could do. Keep it meta. I like the set. The house blowing up was funny. I love he goes back in the house and he's the one that like gets it, and you actually see him kind of blow apart. I thought that was really well done.
That actor, Matt Kessler, he's retired now. I think he got into biology or science or something like that. But I always remember him from, he's in an episode of Law and Order Criminal Intent where he is playing the Zach character in the episode that they're, remember when Dustin Diamond passed away, and the whole issue with, not Dustin Diamond, before he passed away, the whole issue with him doing the porn and he was like having trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So Law and Order Criminal Intent did an episode where they were like, that character is murdered. And so Kessler's playing the Zach character, who's the actor he's always in that. So it's just, I always remember him from that Criminal Intent episode, but go ahead. Yeah. But that scene is good when he goes in and it blows up. The first one is fast. Yeah.
I like that. There's moments. I mean, the voice changer is kind of ridiculous. I like Patrick Dempsey. I think does a really good job.
This is the first one where the voice changer is actually this is the first and only one where the voice changer
I was going to say, did they carry that on? Because that's kind of good.
It's doing voices of other people. And I guess there's a deleted scene, or whether it was a scene in the script that they took out, was that they had a scene where the Ghostface is putting the recorder to, I'm like, come on.
I don't need that. Yeah. It's a ridiculous device regardless. So it's kind of a cop out. I wasn't a big fan of that. Yeah, the comedy's there. I like killing Cotton at the beginning is interesting because it was shocking. You didn't expect it because you're like, oh, they're setting him up to be a big character. He's back in the third one. Then they kill him off. But there's stuff I like and stuff I don't like. Something I didn't realize until you said it was the lack of blood. I was like, wow, it really was a very more or less bloodless Scream film this time.
Lack of blood. No teenagers are killed in the cast, and they're not killed. I don't know if that's because of Columbine. They say it is, but it really doesn't make sense that there would be teenagers in this film if they're shooting a movie. So
yeah, they're all kind of grown up now,
right? And listen, I understand why you change things after that massacre. That was It was horrible. It was a horrible time. It was not great. And so I get it. I get why you have to adjust stuff. And I just wish they didn't change the second killer stuff. I wish they kept it being Angelina. Cause I have it in front of me now. I talked about it a little bit, like she was supposed to be an ex-classmate of Sidney and Bridger's girlfriend. And that, like, the whole thing was the dark incest plot, a subplot that Roman was living out his fantasies with Angelina, having sex with her because she was playing Sidney and Stab. I just feel like it's the perfect Scream. Like, it's just really like, the sickness of it is good. I like that. But again, I get it. I get why you don't put it in there. I said this last episode that I think I know what Scream 7 is going to be. This is a big guess on my part. And because there's always that, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's always that rumor that Lillard's supposed to be in Scream 7. right?
I think it's more than a rumor now, but it's just like how he's going to be in there. Yeah.
So in 2009, Lillard talked about how he was contracted to reprise his role in this film. He was going to be the main antagonist in this film, surviving being killed, and that he was.
I can buy that.
He was going to be orchestrating Ghostface attacks from prison on high school students, and then targeting Sidney. So, and then they got rid of it because of Combine. They went to something else. But like, if you watch the trailer and you listen and you hear like, it's all led to this and how they're attacking all her daughter's friends and her daughter, and then they're going after Sidney, like. If this is Scream 7, I mean, I'll be okay with it. But like the fact that it's already been told in 2009, I mean, come on. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's a big,
Well, that would be pretty cool. I like your theory better or the original, that concept. My thinking about Stu was that Stu might not have died, but him as Ghost, he would have been Ghostface, which then you'd have to explain him getting out of prison, how he was able to escape prison, like how that would be possible. I think him being almost like a Roman character to new killers is a really cool. I would like that idea a lot, actually.
Well, we'll see. That's 7. That's down the road. So you still have to get through the next 4, 5, 6. Yeah, next 3.
I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, you will. Let me give you a review from your old pal Ebert. The characters are so thin they're transparent. But then he praised Campbell's performance, saying the camera loves her. She could become a really big star and then giggle at clips from this film at her AFI tribute. What the fuck does that mean?
I think it means he had a hard on for Nev Campbell while he watched this film and wanted to just throw that in his review. That's what it sounds like to me. Also, like the performance, like doing it, like David Arquette and Courtney Cox are really good in this film. Mm-hmm. And I think Parker Posey I think she does what she's supposed to do. Parker
Posey is always good. I mean, all those people that have discovered her on the White Lotus, she has always been good. So like,
she's great in Lost in Space too, as the doctor.
Yeah. She's great in everything.
Like, even she's just bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
we talked about how she's good in
the Day Trippers, just
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, she's always been good. So like this idea that people are like, oh my god, I never really come on, watch a movie. Sorry. Variety says aficionados will be the best able to appreciate how wittily Craven has brought down the curtain on his much imitated genre reviving series. I guess that's me then. I'm the aficionado who is able to appreciate it. Wittily Craven,
But yet you don't really appreciate it because you didn't really like it. You appreciate it more now that you know the notes.
Listen, I do still like the film. I like the entire franchise. But yes, like it's one of those weeks. Yeah, no, totally. And again, it's more about the potential of what could have been is what bugs me today more than anything before. Like, cause before, like watching Scream 3 is just like, nah, it's okay. Or whatever. That's cool death. I like the Stab 3 stuff. Oh, Sidney's back. She's wearing the necklace from Scream 2, like stuff like that. Like the little touches. Oh, Randy's video, Martha's. Okay. But all that stuff. Yeah, that's great. But now knowing what could have been, that just kind of like bums me out a little bit. I wish that was what they did because it makes sense. Like this is the only one that has one killer. Oh, geez, great. Why are we doing like just the reasoning why? So that kind of bugs me. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So
how are we looking for Scream 4? Where are we looking on that?
So Scream.
Give me a hand rating on Scream 4.
Scream 4 is good. Scream 4 is actually the theme in Scream 4 is extremely relatable to now. It's way ahead. So the Scream, a lot of things with Scream 4 is when it came out. I liked it when it came out. I liked it a lot, but it was a little ahead of its time in terms of what it was saying. But now when you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, okay. So and they're back.
Okay.
So they're all back. It's not like well, at least I don't know. When we get into the notes, I'll find out. But it doesn't feel like they're just like working for 2 weeks. They're there. The main 3. Obviously, this is Wes Craven's last one before he passes away. So, and then this is not like when you start getting into the ones after that. Now you've got all new people, and the main core are just kind of supporting
side characters.
Yeah, they're not really main characters. Obviously, I hope that changed with Scream 7. But yeah, no, I'm curious if you're going to like Scream 4 because I think you will. So, but I won't tell you anything else. There's a big jump now, obviously, from Scream 3 to Scream 4. So in terms of like, I think it's 2011, 13, like it's early 10s, I believe, 2010s, because then there's another jump between Scream 5 from 4. So
there definitely is a big jump. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you like. We'll get there. You'll enjoy it. I think so. I'm confident.
Right.
You'll like it. All right. Let them know where they can find us.
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast. You're watching, listening to us right now. Go ahead, rate, subscribe. What are your thoughts on Scream 3's bad guy? Would you have preferred the original ending or do you like this one? Are you sad you never got to watch a full episode of 100% Cotton? Let us know in the comments below. If you like our show, every Wednesday we have our main show, Forgotten Cinema, where we talk about forgotten films that seem to be forgotten by audiences. We cover all the genres. In October, we have a full month of horror films. So go check out all our forgotten horrors that were in the past if you're just here for horror films, or if you like a wide range of films like we do, go check that out. I'm very interested. Our next episode we're filming is going to be Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and I'm very excited to talk about that film.
Ooh, interesting.
I think we have a lot. I think it's going to be a really good conversation. I think there's a lot to talk about that film. So if you're interested in like 9 weeks when that episode comes out, watch that. But we have a bunch of good ones coming up in the pipeline. Obviously, we got Scream 7. We do now showings as well. Brand new movie releases. We have our audience choice, which you can vote for. That comes around every season. We've got our Patreon with exclusive episodes, including Wes Craven's original Nightmare on Elm Street. And a whole bunch of other films just for the price of a cup of coffee. You get access to that and our Discord and merch discounts, or go on our merch store. There's plenty of ways to support us, or you could join the Patreon for free just to keep up with what we're doing. And we appreciate you watching.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you next lead up, Scream 4. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema Lead Up, Scream 3.